Okay, welcome back. Black Box Games, Episode 8, Kung Fu on the NES Kevtris. Uh, Kind of an interesting game. This one is one I'm not that familiar with. I do know that this is a game that is pretty fondly recalled. In fact, I was kind of surprised it wasn't included on the NES Classic Mini because this one of the more fondly recalled Black Box games. And when I got my NES in the late 80s or early 90s, I can recall that gamers were still fond of this game. Most gamers didn't care much for the Black Box series. They were considered antiquated. But Kung Fu and Excite Bike were two of the Black Box games that a lot of, gamers at the time thought were pretty good. They didn't scoff at them, even though they were a bit antiquated. So 5 floors comprise 1 loop, and the interesting thing about Kung Fu is that it is a primitive style beat 'em up, but it also checks the box for being a score chaser, because as you can see, if you look up where the it says I have 2 lives, there's a dragon icon, and the dragon represents, the game is actually keeping track of how many loops you've completed. Like right now it says 0. But each loop you complete, you get a number next to the dragon. When you complete a loop, your score rolls over. As well as how many lives you have. So the game is, in fact, something of a score chaser. If you can complete in 1 loop, then yeah, you can technically say you've beaten Kung Fu. But the point is to complete as many loops as possible and get your score as high as possible. And currently, I can make it to the 2nd floor of round 2, or rather the 2nd loop. My high score, 175,130 points. That extra life, you get a 50,000. It sounds like that door chime when you open the door to like a convenience store. And you'll notice I'm using punches instead of kicks. The punches you get more points for. So if you are someone that's score chasing, it behooves you to punch your way out of this game. So I do like this game. It is fun. I will say this though, it's not one of my favorite to score chase. When it comes to score chasing, I would much rather be doing Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr., Miss Pac-Man. Oops. Balloon Fight, Mario Bros. Not that there's anything wrong with Kung Fu, it's just not my personal favorite to score chase. It is fun though. So as you've noticed, I've been having a blast just doing this black box series of games and doing the score chasers. There's still a couple left. Popeye, Wrecking Crew, and Clue Clue Land. I guess you could say Mock Rider and Slalom kind of score chasers, but not really. But we're getting to the point where I got to do the sports games, which is... It's not unfortunate, but it's kind of the unpleasant part, because, you know, golf and tennis are fine, baseball's okay, but most of the sports titles on the Black Box series of NES games leave a lot to be desired. They were the best they could do at the time. Alright, we're going to complete one loop without losing a single life. Got a good shot at our high score, but like I said, I really haven't played the game that much. You know, I just popped it in the other day after it arrived on my doorstep. So it's simple, there's not much to it, but... And now we have one loop completed, so we have a 1 by the dragon. 200,000. I'd like to get just over 200,000 points on this run. I will say this, the control is good. That stiff, awkward jump that you have in the Karate Kid, you don't have that, you know, because you have to use up on the D-pad to jump in this game, like in the Karate Kid. So the jump pretty forgiving in this game. Also, it's really nice how you pivot. You can pivot while you're punching or kicking. Oops. Oh, did I at least get the points for beating the boss? That 3,000 point bonus is nice. Very bad luck that there was a knife guy. The knife guys, you want to... They're fine normally, but if you run into them while you're near a boss, they can make your life miserable. Alright, so this is officially the furthest I've ever made it, and Probably my highest score. Looks like we're going to get over 200,000. I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, so we're over 200,000. Pretty happy with this run. And this game admittedly does kind of remind me of Altered Beast in that you're basically learning the patterns of enemies as they approach. Altered Beast, it's so funny. It's on my Sega Mini, and I was... Whoops. Ah, he got me. I was trying to learn the attack pattern. I was trying to be able to beat Altered Beast. It's not a long game. You know, originally the launch game of the Sega Genesis or something, I can't remember, but I was trying to get good at Altered Beast to beat it, and it just occurred to me that that's a really boring game. I really did not like it. You're basically just memorizing the appearances of the enemies. There's a little bit more skill with Kung Fu. Kung Fu's a much better game than Altered Beast. I really don't mean to lump them into the same category. Alright, we got a shot at completing 2 loops. Look at that, over 250,000. Really happy with this score. Not bad, considering I just picked this game up the other day and I've only played it a couple of times. I guess that's a testament to the game being, you know, user-friendly, very intuitive, easy to pick up and play, not hard to learn. And I would definitely say this game has a fair learning curve. All right, we're gonna actually make it to the third loop. Still got 2 lives, I think. And I can already tell I'm not going to last long. The knife throwers, looks like the projectiles come much faster. It's getting harder to make progress. No less fun, though. The game, now it feels like the game's really starting, now that it's quite a bit more challenging. Oops. Oh, wow. Game really not messing around by loop 3. Ah. Wow, tough game. By loop 3, it's pretty tough. Made it to loop 3, stage 2. Score of 327,600. Pretty happy with that score. Probably not a game I'll do too much score chasing on, but it might be fun to pop in once in a while on a blue moon. Maybe I'll poll everyone once in a while and throw Kung Fu on there. All right, so anyway, yeah, only a couple of score chasers left. Popeye and I think Clu Clu Land. And after that, we got to start getting into the sports games. So stay tuned. More coming.